over the Mille Lacs area with the potential of producing some very strong winds, golf ball size hail, and again, quite a bit of rotation. In fact, if we take a look at some of that rotation now moving its way eastward here, so it has started to wind down just a little bit, but we are still seeing the potential for that velocity to re-engage, and right now we're sitting at about 44 miles per hour is kind of how we're seeing the wind speeds right now. But these cells are very, very strong, and again, they have produced confirmed tornadoes in the past. Right now, we haven't seen any confirmations of that, but if you live in any of these areas or you know someone there, make sure that you let them know. And of course, if you live in that area, seek shelter immediately. Now is the time to prepare. We do have an east wind off the lake, so whether or not these storms will be able to hold as they move into the Twin Ports, we'll have to wait and see about that. But I do have higher confidence that portions of Carlton and Pine County are now under the gun of seeing these severe storms moving through. We saw some clearing in the skies here this afternoon. That's what helped ignite this strong line of thunderstorms, give it the energy to sweep its way across east central Minnesota. All these storms in northern Wisconsin and the UP, those aren't severe, just some run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, and most of the storms across the international border are not severe either. So we're really just kind of focusing in on this, a couple of cells. A couple on the Iron Range, of course, and a couple across east central Minnesota is where we're seeing those. So again, this cell is moving its way east. In fact, let's pause it and get a new timing on here really quick. So let's drag that across. And so this goes beyond the warning area, but I just wanted to give you guys a big heads up here. So even all the way out towards Black Hoof, get prepared now. You still have 45 minutes before this line of thunderstorms will reach you, but now is the time to batten down the hatches on your property and get ready. It'll be at Moose Lake at about 6:27, Wagner at about 6:14. And again, this storm is capable of producing not only some 60-mile-per-hour winds, but also some golf ball size hail. And we did get reports of tornadic activity further to the west, out towards the Brainerd area here earlier. And we do have some video of that, which I think we'll share in the broadcast a little bit later. But we have entered the 6 o'clock show here. This is something that we're going to keep a very, very close eye on. Hunter, how's that rotation off to the north looking?
Yeah, we actually have some very strong winds according to radar indication here. We were seeing winds close to 90 miles per hour. So there's a 70-mile-per-hour wind. This is in this cell that is heading towards Virginia and Eveleth. So very strong winds with this system. Rotation also not too bad as well. Gate-to-gate shear of 49 miles per hour with this cell. Also want to show you what it looks like on radar. There actually is a decent hook with this system, and that's what we're looking for a lot of times with these cells, or a hook echo is what it's called. And so you can see kind of where the tornado would be dropping down. Again, this is radar indicated, not confirmed officially, but there's that hook is right there just south of Virginia heading off to our northeast. And this is where that tornado warning is. So again, let's track exactly where this cell is going to be within the next 30 minutes or so. So if you are living in Eveleth or Virginia, or you are in that area at this time, now is the time to head indoors, because we're seeing very strong wind gusts and that hook is defined, so we could be seeing a tornado on the ground. It is not confirmed yet, but we are seeing some strong rotation. So Eveleth within the next 15 minutes or so. Same story with Virginia, about 20 minutes lead time before that tornadic cell is going to be moving into your region. So that particular cell is pretty dangerous because it is organized. We are seeing that hook with that cell, and that velocity is relatively high for that cell. We saw some velocities close to 90 miles per hour with that cell. Still another tornado warning just off west of that, not including hitting yet. This one's a more rural area, but still a lot of lakes associated with this tornado warning. That is in effect until 6:15. We'll see if they extend that a little bit. The National Weather Service coming up when that comes to expire in about 10 minutes or so. But taking a look at that cell, it looks like they shaved a little bit of it off there, and they might just allow that to expire. But taking a look at that cell anyway, just in case. It is still producing some heavy rain, potentially some large hail as well, and this cell is going to be heading heading towards Hibbing in just a little bit. Within the next probably 5 to 10 minutes or so, Hibbing will be seeing that cell. Again, Hibbing is not currently under a tornado warning, but they are likely going to be seeing some large hail, some strong wind gusts with this cell as it heads towards Hibbing here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. The rest of the region, at least in the western portions of the Northland, still under this tornado watch as well, heading down towards Douglas and Burnett and Washburn counties, all under this tornado watch at this time, including Carlton and over towards Pine counties, and still tracking this tornado warning off into northern portions of our region. Again, this is particularly dangerous because we are seeing some signatures of some very strong winds with this cell. This tornado warning is in effect until 6:30, and it includes Virginia and up into central portions of St. Louis County, Eveleth, just west of Hoyt Lakes as well. So again, with this cell, we're seeing a relatively defined hook echo, which can be indicative of seeing a tornado with this cell. It is not confirmed yet, but we are seeing a classic setup here with this particular cell heading straight towards a relatively populated area of our region, Virginia, Eveleth, and the Quad Cities. So again, just to time this out with our timer here, talking about this cell, we are going to be seeing it heading towards areas like Virginia and up towards Eveleth, and again, the Quad Cities areas here within the next 25 minutes or so. Eveleth, Virginia on deck here within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So again, now is the time to head indoors with this cell as it continues to march towards a relatively populated area of our region here. We still do have a couple tornado warnings off to our west and down to our south. I'm going to toss it back to you, Adam, to talk more about those and anything else particular that you'd like to talk about as well.
Yeah, thank you, Hunter. I am continuing to track a strong line of thunderstorms across east central Minnesota that is currently warned as a tornado warning. There hasn't been a tornado reported on the ground yet, but we do have that rotation in there and a very strong line of storms. I wanted to point out the fact that this storm in particular is bowing out, so we're seeing that big bow echo developing in southern Aiken County, heading its way kind of east and southeast into portions of Pine County. It's moving very, very fast at about 50 miles per hour. So let's time that out here for you. It's going to be hitting the Sandstone area at about 6:28, Willow River at 6:22, and Danforth at about 6:41. So you guys have time to prepare. And now is the time to prepare, not to wait till the last minute when that storm is on top of you. So again, a big cluster of thunderstorms moving its way in. We did have multiple reports of tornadoes earlier today out towards the Brainerd and Cross Lake areas. Just south of Aiken, there was a tornado reported there too, just north of Mille Lacs. So very strong storms. Some hail has been reported. Up to golf ball size hail will be possible too with these storms. So again, very strong line of thunderstorms that are moving its way into our region right now. But we're going to take, I think, a quick break here. We are going to be on regular programming on NBC. CBS will go back to their programming as well. So stay tuned for any more updates. And of course, we'll continue to give you guys any updates as they come in. But in the meantime, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Adam. We want to show you, these are tornadoes from about an hour ago, the same system that's working through the Northland right now, but this was near Motley, Minnesota. That's on the west side of the Brainerd Lakes area. This was a picture of a tornado from a drone taken near Gull Lake, kind of the central and northern part of the Brainerd Lakes area. So a couple of the tornadic reports we've received from just outside our viewing area at this time, and this is why Adam is staying on top of the situation. We're waiting for any similar type of reports that might come down from our neck of the woods. And actually, speaking of, let's go right back over to Chief Meteorologist Adam Large.
All right, thanks, Dan. Looks like we have an expansion of that tornado warning in areas off to our north. So I'm going to pass this off to Hunter, and he's going to talk about these tornado warnings that have popped up on the Iron Range. Again, a very dangerous situation up there right now. Hunter, what are you seeing?
Yeah, we've got a new tornado warning now. This also now includes Hibbing. We were just talking about this tornadic activity that was just southwest of Hibbing, but now we've got a new tornado warning that is going to be into much of central and west central portions of St. Louis County. So both of these will be lasting here until 7 o'clock. So the next 50 minutes or so, these cells are going to be moving through. So let's take a look here at the satellite and radar and just see this wide, kind of broad area of this higher resolution in these portions of our region just west of Hibbing. So this line of cells here is going to be continuing to move off to the northeast here within the next 25 minutes or so. Now, Hibbing, of course, is populated, but a lot of this area is a little bit rural. Chisholm and Hibbing all on deck, though, to see this cell move through within the next 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes with this particular cell that has just been issued. Again, that will last until 7 o'clock here. Chisholm here about 6:20 or so. Buell on deck here, 6:29, about 6:30 or so. So now is the time, if you are in the path of this dangerous storm, to head indoors, because a tornado warning has just been issued for those northern portions of our region, heading towards Hibbing, heading towards Chisholm and Buell. I do not know for sure if this is confirmed on the ground or not. Let's take a quick look at that, if that has been confirmed. It looks like it's radar indicated. So again, it is not officially confirmed on the ground, but we are seeing rotation with this cell. And let's take a look at that rotation. Here's the velocity with this system. So we got a little bit of stronger winds, not super defined rotation necessarily anywhere within this cell, but it is capable of producing a tornado at any time within this cell. There is still another dangerous cell that is moving off towards Virginia and Eveleth and the Quad Cities area. That area is still under this tornado warning, and that will last, I believe, until 6:30. Let me double check here with that. Yep, 6:30. It is still radar indicated with this particular cell, and this one does have a little bit more of a defined hook and a little bit more rotation with this cell. So again, heading towards a more populated area. This kind of hook setup that you see here is what we look for with a classic tornado setup with a classic supercell. So that is moving off towards Virginia and Eveleth. Let's take a look at the rotation here. We do have a little bit more rotation. You can see some stronger wind gusts as well with this. 72-mile gate-to-gate shear, so that's some good rotation. 50 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this cell as well. And let's just time out exactly where this cell is going to be within the next few minutes. Heading right towards Virginia and Eveleth here within the next just few minutes or so. So let me pull out my timer here. We'll push this a little bit further off to the northeast, and you can see within the next 10 minutes or so, these areas are going to be impacted by this cell. So Eveleth, Virginia, Rainy Junction, Ramshaw as well are in the path of this cell. Make sure that you are heading indoors and going away from windows, away from those exterior walls, and head into the lowest, most location of your home. A basement is great. Again, away from windows, away from doors, away from those exterior walls, as we do continue to see this dangerous cell moving through Virginia and Eveleth and those central most portions of St. Louis County. So there are still a couple of other cells that are around the Northland. We are still seeing this severe Yes?
Hunter, can I take over and talk about the severe thunderstorm warning?
Go right ahead. I'll toss it right back to you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you. So, yeah, just issued, we have a severe thunderstorm warning across northern Pine, Carlton County, and extending now into Douglas County. So finally, we're starting to see some of those warnings extending into our Wisconsin neighbors here. So again, a very strong line of thunderstorms. Still have a tornado warning that's in effect for portions of Aiken, Carlton, and Pine counties. That is set to expire at 6:30. The rotation aspect of that storm system on radar is not as impressive as it was earlier. Not to say that we couldn't see a quick spin up over the course of the next 15 or 20 minutes as that system continues to move its way through. I also did hear from Dan Wolf that viewers said that sirens are blaring in Hibbing. Yes. That's because we have that tornado warning up that way, and you need to seek shelter immediately if you are hearing those sirens blaring. That is one of the warnings that you get here. So again, this cell that's moving its way across east central Minnesota, the rotation has weakened, but we still have the potential of seeing up to 1-inch diameter size hail and some 60-mile-per-hour winds. This cell is producing a bowing line of thunderstorms, so see how that kind of bows like that? That's very indicative of a damaging wind event. So there's a potential that we could be seeing some very, very strong winds with that line of thunderstorms that's right now, again, moving its way east at about 50 miles per hour. So let's time that out here really quick for you guys. I'm going to put up this track. It's moving east, so that's kind of how it's timing out here as it's moving across the Minnesota counties, and eventually, again, it will move into areas of Douglas County and even far northern Burnett County too. So Will River at 6:32, going to be seeing it in Carrick at 6:47. New Dozy at 7:02. So these storms are expected to carry their strength as they head through areas of east central Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. And one thing that I was a little bit concerned about here today for the Twin Ports is we have that east wind. We've seen cloud cover pretty much all day long. So I don't expect a major threat of severe weather hitting the Twin Ports. Still could see a strong thunderstorm, and it still could be severe, but it looks like it's a lower chance so far for us here in the Twin Ports. Higher chances with these storms off to our north. Again, up in the Hibbing and Virginia area, we have a couple of very strong cells and a couple of tornado warnings up there. Some of these cells right now, again, just moving into the Hibbing area. Let's see if we're seeing any rotation showing up on velocities here, and it looks like just south of Hibbing is where that rotation is sitting. So again, that gate-to-gate shear is something that we tend to look on. It's not a certainty by any means. We use other methods to determine whether or not there is a tornado, but I'm just reading something from the National Weather Service. From the National Weather Service, the areas of most concern are near Hibbing and Eveleth. Seek shelter now is what they're saying from the National Weather Service. So again, that is for Hibbing and Eveleth. You need to seek shelter immediately. We have that rotation, some really strong winds in there as well. Let's zoom out and kind of go up this way up towards the Virginia and Eveleth area. Again, another area of rotation that we're seeing right now is right in here. So that's our next, our second area. That's where we have two tornado warnings right now in those areas. So if we pull up just our watches and warnings, all of kind of the Hibbing, Virginia, Eveleth area is under a tornado warning. So if you live in this area, get away from windows, get to a lower level of a house if you can. Interior room, if you don't have a basement, that's going to be your next best option there. But to talk a little bit more about these cells to the north, I'm going to turn it back over to Hunter for a little bit.
That sounds good. Yeah, we are seeing two tornado warnings still in effect in northern portions of our region. This is up towards Virginia and Eveleth, and again, Hibbing seeing this tornado warning that was just issued here relatively recently. That one is in effect until 7 o'clock here into this evening. The one that is in Eveleth is in effect until 6:30. It may need to be extended because there is still some good rotation and definitely some strong winds associated with both of these cells. So let's talk about the timing here when it comes to both of these cells. First off, coming towards the one that is heading right for Eveleth and just south of Virginia. Again, the Quad Cities area with this cell that did have a hook earlier, which is, again, indicative of a relatively strong cell that is moving through the region. And I'll time this out here. Within the next 15 minutes or so, going to be heading towards Eveleth very shortly. So again, if you are in the path of this, if you are in Eveleth, you need to head indoors immediately because within just a couple of minutes, this potentially tornadic cell is going to be moving through Eveleth and Virginia as well. Gilbert in the path of this cell, Elkhor as well as Rainy Junction. So if you are in the path of the cell, it is moving through now. You need to head indoors now and head away from windows and doors and heading into the lowermost portion of your homes, away from those exterior shelters. So that's a particularly populated area of our region. Also, just south of Hibbing and heading towards the Hibbing and Buell area, we do have another cell that is moving through. This one is going to be near those areas, and I'll pull this up again here and push this further off to the northeast. You can see Hibbing within the next minute or so. So again, if you're in Hibbing, Chisholm, Buell, you're going to want to head indoors immediately and make sure to head away from those windows and doors because there is still that tornadic cell that is moving through. Both of these are radar indicated. They are not officially on the ground, but we are seeing some good rotation now with both of these cells. And as we talk throughout the rest of this evening, we could see the rotation picking up and settling down and picking up. So just because we're talking and we're not seeing much rotation at a certain time, it could pick up pretty quickly. And now this is gate-to-gate shear of 81 miles per hour. That's some good rotation when it comes to a cell. Again, that is just south of Hibbing. We do have a little bit of rotation as well with this cell that is just south of Virginia heading towards Evelyn in those areas, about 57 mile per hour gate to gate shear. So some good rotation with both of these cells moving through our region. Again, we do have 2 tornado warnings in the northernmost portions of our region, off towards central portions of St. Louis County, heading towards Hibbing, heading towards Buell, Virginia, Evelyn. If you are in the path of these systems, you need to take cover now, because it's going to be within minutes that we are seeing those tornadic cells impacting those portions of the region. It's all part of this broad system that we are currently seeing moving through the Northland. So also another tornado warning down to our south, heading towards Aiken, or in southern portions of Aiken County, heading towards Carlton and Pine County as well. And to talk a little bit more about this, I'll send it back over to Adam.
Yeah, sounds good. Continuing to track this severe... Had my mic on mute. Was talking to the anchors a little bit there. Apologize about that. Still continuing to track severe storms moving across east central Minnesota. We do still have a tornado warning in place for portions of Aiken and Carlton and Pine counties until 6:30, although you just saw that kind of shrink a little bit because that storm has kind of moved on. So let's go back to some radar here. I wanted to show you this line of strong thunderstorms, really strong thunderstorms moving their way across areas of east central Minnesota. If you live in any of these cities that are popped up on your screen, you should seek shelter immediately. The rotation has certainly weakened with this line of storms, but the wind threat, the hail threat, the lightning threat is still absolutely there. And you can clearly see we have a bowing line of thunderstorms, and that's very indicative of a severe wind event. So I haven't heard any reports of any crazy wind gusts coming in yet from the National Weather Service, but there is that potential, and so you certainly should seek shelter immediately. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning has expanded across all of northern Pine County, southern Carlton County, and into Douglas, and even a small section of Burnett County is under that severe thunderstorm warning, which is the possibility of 60-mile-per-hour winds, up to 1-inch diameter size hail, and of course some heavy rain to go along with that. So again, looking at velocities here, it's not all that impressive across east central Minnesota at the moment, but that's not to say that we couldn't see a tornado quickly spin up out of this system. This system has produced several tornadoes to our west, and so once it kind of reached the Mille Lacs area, it appeared to have turned into more of a wind concern there, but still seeing the potential for rotation to develop there. All of these little points here, these are all tornado or funnel cloud reports from this storm that moved through, again, across portions of east central Minnesota earlier. Taking a look at Doppler here across the region, again, a very strong line of thunderstorms in east central Minnesota, but we're seeing some active tornado warnings across portions of the Iron Range. All this rain in northern Wisconsin right now, not anticipated to be severe yet, but we will continue to see these storms march east, and there will still be a tornado threat even into northwest Wisconsin and parts of Burnett and Douglas counties as we head into the early evening hours. A bigger concern of seeing more widespread large hail of 2 inches in diameter or greater, and of course the potential of seeing some damaging winds, so some 60-plus-mile-per-hour winds. And even with that wind, you're going to want to be indoors. You're going to want to be away from any windows. You never know if debris gets kicked up. A tree comes down on trees come down on houses all the time, so you want to be at the lowest level possible in an inner area of your house, especially. That's going to be pretty key as well if you don't have a basement, especially. So again, taking a look at the severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning for portions of Pine and Carlton and Aiken counties right now. Folks are going to be seeing that line of storms moving their way very, very soon here. So Moose Lake, Willow River, you guys are going to be seeing that storm, that front move in here very, very shortly. So you need to get indoors and seek proper shelter. Sandstone also in the path of this storm. Last I checked, it was moving at about 50 miles per hour. Is what the National Weather Service is reporting, so it's moving its way east. So that's how it kind of times out with our cities across portions of east central Minnesota. It's going to be hitting Willow River pretty much right now. Sandstone in a few minutes. Bruno at about 6:35. Carrick at 6:39. New Dozy at 6:53. With that powerful line of thunderstorms. And again, that classic kind of bowing, bow echo is what it's called actually. So that bowing of that storm is very indicative of a potential wind event. Dan also just said very heavy rain being reported in Hibbing right now. And I'll try to get a, let me see, let's actually take a look at something else here really quick. We'll go up to Hibbing, and we have this cell again, there is a tornado warning for this area. If we can pull up, let me see, where is it here? Precip rates, see if this pops up. So this is what's called precipitation rates, so how hard it's raining, 2.88 inches per hour. Obviously the storm is moving a lot quicker, but it's dropping a lot of rain in a very short period of time. So there's a potential of seeing some localized flash flooding with these cells off to the north as well. And it looks like even south of Hibbing here, just west of Onega, is where we're seeing another area where some very, very heavy rain is falling there as well. Let's take a peek at this cell kind of out towards Virginia, also producing some very heavy rain. But again, the biggest concern for that area is the tornado warnings. And we are still seeing quite a bit of rotation. Not really seeing the tail or the hook echo on that cell as much anymore. And maybe we're starting to see a little bit of bowing starting to form around the Hibbing area as well. So again, there's a potential of seeing some tornadic activity with these cells to the north. We do have a little bit of coupling here that is popping up just south of Hibbing, but if you are in the Hibbing, Chisholm, Virginia area, you need to seek shelter immediately. This is a very, very strong set of storms moving its way. In fact, in Eveleth here, let's zoom in. You can actually kind of see downtown Eveleth right there. Gate-to-gate shear of around 25 miles per hour, so that's not super impressive, but we have seen it exceeding 80 miles per hour even at times. So some very strong rotation is possible with that cell that's moving its way, again, through Eveleth, and it's moving its way north and east. It might shoot past Virginia just to the south, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, a very fluid situation here as this cell moves through. So there we go. There's some gate-to-gate shear that's up over 100 miles per hour, and that's just south of Gilbert. So if you live in Gilbert, I would definitely get to the lowest level of your house as possible here, because that cell, again, is moving its way north and east right now at about 20 miles per hour or so. So these are the two areas of concern. I'll draw a little circle here. So we have a little couplet right there. And then we have several areas of rotation, it looks like, just south of Virginia in the Eveleth area too. So those are the areas where we're seeing the strongest rotation right now, the greatest threat for tornadic activity. The cell down to the south possibly producing some very, very strong winds as well. So that's something that I'm keeping a very close eye on. Velocity here is up to about 51 miles per hour. So there's a potential of seeing that. In fact, let's take another look at radar here, because that's kind of interesting. So yeah, so we do have some rotation. Willow River, starting to see that rain really falling there. Moose Lake, you guys are going to be seeing it here very, very shortly as well. In the meantime, I'm going to send it back to Hunter. He'll give you guys some more updates regarding that tornadic activity off to the north.
Yeah, we do have a couple cells that are producing tornadic activity, again, off in those northern portions of our region. We have a couple of tornado warnings that are in effect, and this still includes Virginia and Eveleth and off towards Buell, as well as Elkhor and Biwabic, all under this tornado warning here, and that is in effect until about 6:30 or so. So that will maybe go out of effect here by 6:30. That's in 3 minutes, but we are still seeing some decent rotation with this cell. If we take a look at mean velocity and we zoom in a little bit, just southeast of Virginia, we are still seeing some relatively decent rotation here. Gate-to-gate shear was just over 100 miles per hour, so it looks like it is weakening a little bit, so that is good news. But still, you are under that tornado warning. So if you live in Virginia, Eveleth, off towards Biwabic as well, make sure that you are indoors, away from windows, away from the sides of your house and in the lowermost location of your home. We also have this other, yes, go ahead.
I think we have a live look up in Virginia right now that sure. we should take a look at. I mean, that rain is just coming down so hard up there. It looks like water is building up on the roads a little bit as that car just drove by. So again, that is also another concern. Traveling around here at this point in time, not going to be a good idea. Traffic's going to be moving quite a bit slower with this really heavy rain, and we could see some localized flooding. Yeah, that water is definitely building up on the road right now there. So could see something very similar on I-35 here right now. just south of Moose Lake all the way through about Sandstone. We're going to be seeing that section of highway become possibly impassable for a short period of time. You might want to pull over or go very, very slow. Make sure you have your headlights on as well. We're seeing some very, very heavy rain. And again, with this cell that's moving across east central Minnesota, we're seeing some very strong winds possible, the potential for some hail. If I pull up hail, it's very unimpressive right now. We're seeing maybe some areas of pea-size hail or so, or just under a ½ inch in diameter. So really not a huge concern right now. That doesn't mean that we couldn't see a cell produce some very large hail here eventually. But that cell is, again, moving across northern Pine County and southern Carlton County right now. And it looks like we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning issued. So let's take a look. I think that was just expanded for Duluth. So now Duluth and Superior are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to wait for that to pop.
These wind threats starting to organize more here throughout the rest of the evening. So this particular line that is moving through Moose Lake, through Sandstone, heading towards the Twin Ports, that's going to be moving off to our northeast here within the next 30 minutes or so. So Moose Lake very shortly going to be seeing the severe thunderstorm warning with large hail and strong wind gusts possible. Blackhoof and Thompson here within the next 30 minutes or so. Superior and here in Duluth within the next hour or so. I believe that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7:30. I will double check that here real quick. Oh, looks like there's a new warning potentially here off to our north. Let's take a gander at that here. Do you want to take a look at that, Adam?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And we're gonna jump back on to CBS here as well. We've been talking about the severe weather here. So far this afternoon, we've seen multiple tornado warnings pop up, but just recently we have a flash flood warning that has just been issued. So let's take a look at that. That's very expansive. So that's from Grand Rapids, Hibbing, Virginia, all the way out towards Hoyt Lakes, just south of Greenwood as well. So we saw a lot of rain fall in a very short period of time. So that's until 10:30 tonight, actually, is when, how long we're going to be seeing this flash flood warning. So let's take a look at how much rain we've seen over the last few hours. It might take a second to populate here, but we did look at a camera up in Virginia earlier, and yeah, it was just coming down, and you could see cars just driving down the highway over the bridge. And so radar indication of around 6 inches there. That's just northwest of Grand Rapids, and other areas 2 to 5 inches of rainfall. So very, very heavy rain falling out there in some areas. In fact, let's take another look. Let's take another look at that camera up in Virginia, because we have, I think we have that. Oh, Grand Rapids, excuse me. Let's take a look at a Grand Rapids camera. So yeah, clearly raining very, very hard up there, and that's where we're seeing that flash flood warning that has just been issued by the National Weather Service. Again, there is also still a tornado warning in that area. We are seeing some good rotation. Kind of in the Cherry area last time I checked. We can pull up velocities again, and yeah, we're seeing that rotation right now. Looks maybe a little bit weaker, but it's still definitely rotating. Yeah, so we're definitely still seeing, looks like it's just west of Cherry is where we're seeing that rotation kind of start up, and the potential for a tornado, which is why there's still an active tornado warning. It's about 5 miles west of Cherry right now is where we're seeing that tornado warning. We do have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings as well in areas down to the south. So again, east central Minnesota, far northwest Wisconsin, including the Twin Ports, under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is for up to 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch diameter size hail. Just issued was that flash flood warning across a huge swath of the region from Grand Rapids, stretching all the way out through the Iron Range and out towards Hoyt Lakes as well. So a massive area that has seen radar indicated between 1 and 6 inches of rainfall in the past few hours alone. So some very heavy rain. Wanted to take another look at this cell that's moving right now. just west of the Cherry area. How fast was that moving again, Hunter? Do you recall?
It was moving, I believe, about 40 to 50 miles per hour, but let me just double check that here real quick.
We're just going to time it out for 40 miles per hour right now, but that's kind of the timing of that cell as it moves its way northeast. So it should be hitting Virginia at about 7:02. And again, this is just a radar indicated tornado warning. So the National Weather Service said the flash flood warning issued around Grand Rapids and most of the Iron Range between 2 and 4 inches of rain so far, with an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain expected this evening. So that's why they issued that. Again, I just showed you kind of the radar indicated rainfalls rates. That doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly how much folks saw. But again, in this area is where we're seeing that tornado warning. So you need to seek shelter immediately for that. Hopefully we don't see a tornado develop out of that storm. It is set to expire, let me see here, at 7 p.m. So we still have a good 23 minutes before that tornado warning expires. But we got some really good rotation with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did end up seeing some tornadic activity with this cell. I mean, that's some pretty clear-cut rotation within the storm system. It's not necessarily super strong rotation. We're seeing gate-to-gate shear, at least in that case, about 25 miles per hour. So again, there is that potential for seeing a tornado make it to the ground at some point here just west of Cherry. And again, that's moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So in the Cherry, Virginia area, Buell even, up into Kirk and Sherwood, seek shelter, have a plan, make sure the family's all safe. Mountain Iron also, I'd probably get ready to seek shelter immediately as well. And again, lowest level, interior of your house, if you don't have a basement, away from windows is very, very important here. So let's take another look at, let's go here. So we have Doppler radar here again. Very strong line of thunderstorms moving across east central Minnesota right now. It's moving east at about 50 miles per hour, so very, very fast. If I kind of pause it here and we take a look at the timing of that, it's moving kind of east and maybe slightly southeast. So it's projected to hit kind of the Spooner and Hayward area at about 7:40, 7:50 or so. Rush City at about 7:08. So you guys still have time to prepare for this. Expect a chance of some very, very heavy rain. If we take a look at precip rates again, we are seeing some very heavy rain even with this cell. I mean, just east of Willow River. We're seeing some very heavy rainfall rates of 2.5 to 3 inches per hour, over 3 inches per hour in this case for just west of Willow River, north of Partridge, and south of Norman right now. So I wouldn't be shocked if we saw some more localized flooding, maybe some more flash flood warnings be sent out, but definitely seeing some very heavy rain up here in Cherry. And that's also very scary too, because if we're seeing this heavy rain and that rotation, we could end up seeing a rain-wrapped tornado, and that's very scary because you can't really see them coming other than on radar. But yeah, even just east of Virginia, we're seeing some very heavy rainfall rates too, which is why we do have that flash flood warning that was issued. That's in that dark maroon box here. All that area is under a flash flood warning. I think we do have a camera from up in Virginia right now. So it looks like the rain might have calmed down a little bit in Virginia proper. But again, just to the east of there, we're still seeing that really, really heavy rain. And when that rain was moving through, I saw cars driving on the road and just water splashing everywhere. So roads did become pretty saturated with that rain very, very quickly. And so this is a very strong line of thunderstorms in east central Minnesota, but the main concern here is that tornado warning that is until 7 p.m. for the Iron Range area. So I'm going to send it back over to Hunter. Hunter, what do you got?
Yeah, we still have several warnings and watches here. We just to keep in mind here, we've got this broad tornado watch still in effect for a good portion of the region here. That's going to be in effect until 9 o'clock, and that also includes St. Louis County, Douglas County, Washburn, Burnett County, and again, that's in effect here until 9 o'clock. So still could see some additional tornadic activity within the next 3 hours or so before these cells march out of this region here. You can see just exactly where we are when it comes comes to this moderate to heavy rain, very heavy rain off to our north, and also brief heavy rain here with the southernmost portion of our region. We have this bowing echo, which is, it's called a bow echo, very indicative of potentially strong winds as well as a couple of tornadoes. Right now there is not a tornado warning in this area. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that is very broad, which impacts the Twin Ports and also impacts all of Carlton County, northern portions of Pine County, and a little bit of Douglas County. And this one is going to be in effect until 7:15. So we still have another 30 minutes that we're going to be seeing the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the Duluth area, the Twin Ports, as well as western portions, excuse me, of Douglas County, Carlton County, and northern portions of Pine County. But again, off to our north, we are still seeing this tornado warning in effect, which is just southeast of Hibbing, so not including Hibbing anymore. That's good news, but still on track to head towards Virginia. Virginia is not under a tornado warning at this time as well. That is in effect here until 7 o'clock. So let's pull up this radar here, and I can show you just exactly where these storms are going to be coming up within the next few minutes or so. So we'll draw out this line here and we'll extend it a little bit further up here. So within the next 20 minutes or so, this particular cell, which is tornadic, is going to be heading towards Buell here within the next 3 minutes. Clinton, Mountain Iron, and Evelyn, Virginia. Again, you are not under a tornado warning at this time, but the cell will be heading towards your region here relatively shortly. So might be a good idea to just keep an eye, of course, on this program here as we continue to monitor the situation if that is issued. But you folks in Buell, Great Scott, and Clinton need to head indoors now and get away from the cell, head away from windows and exterior walls, and head into the interior-most portion of your home. A basement is a fantastic place to go. If you don't have a basement, then head in the most interior, most centric portion of your home if you live in the path of this tornadic cell. Now, as we mentioned relatively recently, we did have a flash flood warning that has been issued, and it's a very broad flash flood warning here, which includes a good portion of central St. Louis County, Itasca County as well, so some major cities within this going to be lasting until 10:30. Grand Rapids, Hibbing, Virginia, the Quad Cities area, all under this flash flood warning in effect until 10:30. So if we take a gander here again at some of the most recent rainfall, at least radar indicated rainfall totals, we do see quite a nice swath of some very heavy rain here towards Grand Rapids, Balsam, Hibbing, Virginia, still seeing this heavy rain, so some more rain to fall. The National Weather Service reporting about 2 to 4 inches confirmed has fallen in these areas, and another possible 1 to 2 inches on the way with these relatively slow-moving cells over that portion of the region. Radar indicated rainfall totals, some areas possibly over 6 inches of rain have fallen already, and more on the way for these areas. So we're going to be definitely watching this area. And speaking of this area, let's take a live look currently at Grand Rapids, which is currently seeing some rain, definitely, but lighter rain than what we had from before. I'm going to toss it over to Adam here to talk more about Grand Rapids and taking a look at the rest of the forecast here.
All right. Yep. Thank you, Hunter, very much. I actually have another camera up here down in Hinckley. You can see those clouds getting really dark there. You guys are in for a good round of thunderstorms. Some severe storms are about to move into that area. So if you take a look at that line of very strong storms moving through central Minnesota, they are severe warned with up to 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch diameter size hail. So going to be seeing portions of I-35 that are already inundated with water. We could see some more on top of that. Again, we are tracking a lot as we head through the rest of the overnight hours here. The severe threat will go until about 9 p.m. But with things kind of settling down in the form of tornadic activity, other than this tornado warning that's still in place off to the north, I think I'm going to pitch it back to programming here for a little bit. I will continue to monitor that potential for a tornado up in the Cherry and Buell area. Again, seek shelter even if you're up in the Virginia area as well. And we'll continue to give you guys updates here as we head throughout the rest of the overnight hours, especially with the flooding concerns that we'll be dealing with here throughout the overnight. But thank you guys so much for bearing with us. It was a very active night. Hopefully we don't have to break in anymore. But in the meantime, stay safe out there. And if you need to see me again, you'll see me again.